checkers here at Knoxville Raceway.
Checker flag is out for Spangler as they come across the line here.
The 217 coming off of 4. It'll be hit.
Coming there on 3 and 4. Salas gets win number 2 tonight.
Randy Shreves from 19th to victory.
Cars 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win. It's going to be Shreves getting the win.
He sees the checkered flag win. Give it to William Watson.
All right, here we go, and I'm having a little trouble getting you guys. Oh, it's coming alive. There we are. Okay, we were having a little trouble with that before him, but I see it's come live now here as we get ready for the qualifying just momentarily here at Lernerville tonight. My neck of the woods. We got Dean Reynolds out there. You see Alec Uber out there in the number 2. Got a great job, or a great field here tonight. We got 12 cars, means 2 heats of 6, possibly 13 drivers as Ryland Banks looks back to be in there in his hauler yet. We'll see if he comes out here for qualifying. He's getting registered here as qualifying gets underway. Momentarily, there you see the 04 Greg Parmalee. All right, here we go as we're getting ready for it. Here we go. Qualifying underway. We'll see who it is going to be getting out here on the, there you see Alec Uber there in the number 2. Gonna roll down the front stretch. There is the 15, Mike Stryker. As they rolling out there, there's the 79, Dean Reynolds, also coming out. As they roll down here in the corner number 1, you see some lap times there on the bottom of your screen as we flick through some of these drivers. You got the 747, or the 147 rather. There's the 41 of Pat Boyce. He worked down through off of the corner down here in the 3 and 4. Coming up off the corner, lays down a time right now. We'll see. No times as of yet. As you watch Pat Boyce come out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Dean Reynolds there coming around here. Anthony Morano with a 15.304. Mike Stryker with a 15.387. Jeff Barker, he comes out with a 15.272 right now. Put Morano into second. Andy Morano now with a 15.195. Now here comes Molyneux. He comes in with a 15.092. Man, oh man, these drivers really putting some great times down here at Lernerville tonight. As you see that 147 of Michael Vecchio. And there you see Armando Melgosa. The 513 of Jeff Barker. There's that 147 of Michael Vecchio there. Looks like everybody's finished qualifying. We're going to be getting started here with our heats in just a moment. Starting grid for heat number 1. Wait for it to come on up here. It's going to be Jeff Sharp starting out there on pole. Outside there is going to be Mike Stryker in the 015. Row number 2 on the inside is the 513 of Jeff Barker. Bud Molyneux in the 883, your fastest in qualifying. Starts 4th here tonight. Alec Uber there in the number 2 will start in 5th inside row number 3 with Armando Melgosa there in the 78 starting in 6th outside row number 3. Andy Patton back here in the 87th. Will roll off in 7th. 13 drivers, the total here tonight for your limited late models at Lernerville. They come there out of turn number 2. One more time around here at Lernerville as they get set to take the green. 6 laps the distance. And see that 513 there on the inside of Jeff Barker. Pace car's off. We're going green this time. Off of corner number 4. Here we go. Down through into the front stretch into corner number 1. Down there on the inside, the 280 there. Jeff Sharp sliding up, catches the 215, the 015 of Mike Stryker. Does a great job there. Mike Stryker doing a great job out there on the outside. There comes the 78. Melgoza rolling on his way up through there. There you see that 003. I'm sorry, the 080, the 883 there at Bob Molyneux working his way up there on the top side. Working up there in the second. Now he's trying to find his way around that front spot. You see the 280 there hanging on just there in front of Jeff Barker as they roll down the backstretch. Bob Molyneux there trying to get up there to Mike Stryker. Stryker running a great lap right now as they come there out of turn 4. 3 laps to go here at Lernerville, down here in the corner number 1 and 2 as they head on out here down into 3 and 4. Bob Molyneux there second, Jeff Sharp there in third. Jeff Barker fourth, and Mondo Melgoza up there along that outside lane. Trying to get in that good transfer spot, rather, that 4th place. But everybody will transfer here tonight, as there is only 2 heats. This will set your inside row. 2 laps to go. Now, final lap here in heat number 1. Mike Stryker out there leading the way. Bud Molyneux there in second. For Benham racing in at 883 with Jeff Sharp back here in third. With Armando Melgoza hanging on the 4th just ahead of Andy Patton. As they come down through, Mike Stryker gets the win here at Lernerville for heat number 1. All right, heat number 1 results are going to be Mike Stryker there in first, Bud Molyneux there in second, Jeff Sharp there in third, Armando Melgoza there in fourth, Jeff Barker there in fifth, Andy Patton sixth, Alec Uber there in seventh. All right, here we go. We got Dean Reynolds out there on pole for this one. Greg Parmalee there in second. And in row number 2 on the inside, driving the 41 is going to be Pat Boyce with starting third. As Anthony Morano's there in fourth into number 32. Ryland Banks there in the 76. Starting fifth tonight inside row number 3 with Michael Machio there in sixth. All right, here we go. They are off and running here. And they come down here into the corner. Come on. There we go. Pat Boyce back here into number 41. Anthony Morano, your fastest one here in this group. As they come storming down the front stretch into corner number 1. You got that 32. Morano up there on the high side. Dean out there in front. Boyce there in second. Going to slide up there in front of the 04. Greg Parmalee, but Parmalee going to end up sliding back underneath here through turn 3 and 4. Opening that door up on that inside, allowing Morano to get there along with the 76 of Ryland Banks. That Morano tries to get up underneath Parmalee now. Down there through in the corner number 3 and 4. Parmalee up there on the top side. There's that FTM machine of Morano. The 76 there, Ryland Banks trying to roll his way underneath. Can't quite get there now. They work off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Into 3 and 4 they go. Morano up on the high side. Here they go down that front straightaway. Dean Reynolds out there on top as he leads this one around here out of turn 2. Morano sneaking in above the 04. Greg Parmalee gonna get up there to the top shelf here coming out of turn 3 and 4. And down through the front straightaway. Dean Reynolds running a little lower on the racetrack. Morano trying to get that high side ripped in there. He's going to look underneath. 2 laps to go here. And coming out of turn 4, Morano goes high and slides it up in front of Dean. Dean's going to bring it back down underneath. There through turn number 1. Final lap here. Can Anthony Morano bring it back and get underneath him here into turn number 4? He's going to go to the outside. Dean's going to go to the inside. Who's it going to be? Coming here off the corner. Great race coming off. Oh, man, too close. Morano somehow gets the win. .02 over top of Dean Reynolds coming across the line. .015 is what my 3-digit's showing. Man, oh man, what a finish there for heat number 2. Now you see him here, Dean Reynolds. Well, that's showing Dean Reynolds as the winner. .005 over Anthony Morano. Man, oh man, oh man. .005 over top. Dean Reynolds getting the win over top of Anthony Morano. I thought Morano had him by .015, but his official standings here has it as Dean Reynolds getting the win. Morano in second, Greg Parmalee third, Pat Boyce fourth, Ryland Banks there fifth, Michael Vecchio there in sixth. And we'll be able to figure that out real easy here in just a little bit. We'll be back after the word from our sponsors. Thanks everybody for watching so far.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, back here at the Speedway. Warm-ups finishing up. Now find out who exactly won heat number 2. As the officials definitely say, Dean Reynolds got the win by .005 of distance there. We stand here, our starting grid. Mike Strager in the 015. Starting there on pole, Dean Reynolds there in second. Bud Molyneux there in third, inside row number 2. Anthony Morano in fourth, starting there in the number 32. The 280 of Jeff Sharp is going to start inside row number 3 in the number 5. Greg Parmalee in the 6th spot, driving the 04. Back here in row number 4 on the inside. Armando Melgoza starts 7th with Pat Boyce there in 8th. Chip Barker starts 9th. Outside Ryland Banks there in 10th. Anthony Patton in 11th. Michael Vecchio there in 12th. And in 13th tonight, that's going to be Alex Uber there in the 13th spot, driving the number 2. Coming around here in the corner 2, here we go. What an exciting finish there to heat number 2. And Morano and Reynolds battled it out. I don't think Morano's going to want to hand him that, I don't think the Magic Ant-Man's going to want to hand that to him that easily. As they come here out of turn 4, green flags in the air. In the corner number 1, they go here for the Mission 22 limited late models as we get started here this evening. There you see Murano up there on the high side. Dean Reynolds out there already. Here comes Murano to the inside. I don't think Reynolds is going to be able to hold him off this time here in the main event as they storm down there in the corner number 1 and 2. Keep an eye on this guy as well, Bud Molyneux. If he's going to get that car around some of this lap traffic, like the 015 there, Pat Boys, he could be a force to reckon with as well as they work down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Rolling around here onto the backstretch. Dean Reynolds up here on the high side. Murano there as well. Murano going to take just a slight slide into corner number 3 as they slide it on through 4. Murano, your leader. Dean Reynolds there in second. Look out though, Bud Molyneux. He's got a line there on the top side to get himself up through there. He was your fastest qualifier tonight, followed by Anthony Murano. With 22 laps to go, a little bit farther back. There you see the 78 Amogosa. Andy Patton there in the 87. The 2 of Alec Uber getting up through the field a little bit. Is that Michael Vecchio and Greg Parmalee's back here towards the back, rounding your field out. As you watch them, they're off turn number 4. Look out, boys. Had that rear tire hanging over top of the edge of the track as they come through off of 4. That boys tries to hang on to that top cushion there here through 3 and 4 now. Rolling around in 5th. The 015 of Mike Stryker started on pole. Ended up sliding back here in the 4th. As Murano took the lead. Reynolds there in 2nd. What a run here tonight by those front 2 drivers so far for Full Throttle Motorsports. And you got Venom Racing's Bud Molyneux trying to chase them down there in 3rd. They roll it on out there. On that high side goes the 79 of Reynolds. Ryland Banks, he's getting around. Boys, as Boyce ends up down on the inside a little bit here. Jeff Barker now looking to the outside as well. That was at 76 rather, of Ryland Banks. Get past him. Jeff Barker, Pat Boyce, there in the 7th position. Jeff Sharp in 8th. Armando Malgosa there in 9th. Andy Patton there in 10th. As they roll it out here, down there on the inside. Working there off of the corner. And they work there on down there through the backstretch. Andy Murano there out front. Dean Reynolds there in 2nd. Bud Molyneux there in 3rd with Mike Stryker in 4th. Ryland Banks now up to 4th. He slides it on up, but look out. Here comes Mike Stryker. He's going to strike down here. Oh, no! He goes around on the front stretch, clipping there. That's going to bring out your first caution here of the main event of your limited late models. Greg Parmalee, Justin Vangosa getting there involved. Michael Vecchio getting involved, sorry. As here they come off the corner. You see the 04. Greg Parmalee gets punted around. Not far ahead of that, though. I thought we watched Pat Boyce, or was that here coming off of the restart here? Oh, I'm sorry, no. Wait a moment. As you see Pat Boyce there. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I know there was somebody else there we watched. I thought it was Mike Stryker. It was. Here it is. Right here, as the 76 catches that inside wall. Stryker up here on the outside. Gets caught up. There is your caution. But we had 2 incidents there. First caution of the night here at On the Pole, bringing you Coast to Coast Racing Network and FFTV tonight. We get rolling here down there on the inside. You see Anthony Murano with Dean Reynolds there in 2nd. Those 2 battled it out really hard for heat number 2. Trying to battle it out here once again. Coming here off the front corner. In the turn 2, the Magic Ant-Man down there on the inside. And you see Reynolds there out in front. Morano's showing up tonight. You don't really see him too much here with his work schedule and stuff, as from what I understand. As he worked down there out of 4. Look out, Bud Molyneux. Great start up there. Getting underneath of Dean Reynolds. Can't quite make the pass happen yet, but he is there. If he can just get that momentum built up there on the high side, but they're stacking up behind him. Jeff Parker there, along with Ryland Banks at 76. Ryland Banks dives it on into corner number 1 and 2. Little damage there to the left front of that machine as they work down through the backstretch. Dean Reynolds second, Anthony Morano hanging on to first. Ryland Banks out there in 4th with Jeff Parker trying to roll around there, as you see up here on the high side. Coming there off the corner, the 883 of Bud Molyneux there in 3rd. Dean Reynolds out there in 2nd. Ryland Banks in the 4th with Jeff Parker there 5th. Jeff Sharp in the 6th with Pat Boyce in 7th. As they're rolling on down there out of the corner. You got the 32 there of Anthony Morano driving down that back straightaway here in the corner number 3 and 4. Dean Reynolds there in 2nd. Bud Molyneux there in 3rd. Bud Molyneux tries to get up there and battle with Dean there for 2nd spot. Ryland Banks hangs on to 4th with Jeff Parker in 5th. Anthony Morano still your leader as they hang it on out here through 3 and 4. And coming across the stripe, it's going to be 7 laps to go here in the main event of your limited late models from the Mission 22 coming on to sponsor that this season. We greatly appreciate that here as they come through 3 and 4. Definitely a great cause there. If you don't know anything about Mission 22, definitely check them out. You watch Anthony Morano roll there off of 2 down that back straightaway. Hanging on to the lead, Dean Reynolds there in 2nd. Bud Molyneux there 3rd. Ryland Banks in 4th. Here with 5 laps to go now with Bud Molyneux in 3rd. Dean Reynolds there 2nd. Jeff Parker in 5th. Dean Reynolds 2nd. Up there off the high side they go down here in the corner number 1 with Dean Reynolds running 2nd. Bud Molyneux there in 3rd. Can't quite find the speed that he had earlier as he rolls into 3 and 4 here. Pat Boyce having issues back here. And up and over the back stretch here. And Morano comes around there. Stay down, Pat. You don't want to come up in front of the guys. Now we see Parmalee and Bacillo are out of the race. Back here in the pits. Dean Reynolds 2nd. Molyneux there 3rd. Pat Boyce going to try to bring it up around here. I think he's heading towards pit road. There he goes. There he's at 41, sneaking on down there to pit road. With Morano coming there out of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go for Anthony Morano here in car number 32 for Full Throttle Motorsports. Through 1 and 2. Final time down that backstretch for these limited late models as they head into corner 3 and 4. Anthony Morano, your leader. Here as he comes out of corner number 4. Coming across the stripe, Anthony Morano. Get your win here at Lernerville in the limited late models. Dean Reynolds in 2nd. Ryland Banks in 3rd. We'll get with the winners momentarily. First, let's get our feature results as we're waiting on them to come in. Anthony Morano gets the win here in the main event. Can't hold, or Dean Reynolds 2nd. Couldn't hold off Anthony Morano. Ryland Banks gets 3rd. Bud Molyneux, I thought he was going to end up with 3rd, but he ends up 4th tonight. Ryland Banks getting up there in the 3rd. Jeff Parker in 5th with Jeff Sharp in 6th. Armando Malgosa there in 7th. Mike Stryker in 8th. Andy Patton in 9th. Alec Uber there in 10th. Pat Boyce 11th here tonight. Greg Parmalee in 12th. Michael Bacillo there 13th. All right, there we go as they head on out here. Great job by these drivers. Let's go and get with your winners now. Ryan Banks in the number 76, getting 3rd place here. Started in 10th. And I would like to maybe get that to show differently if I could find where that is. But let's go and get Ryland Banks up here. Good evening there, Ryland. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. What a run for you tonight, getting third up there. I know the front left has a little bit of damage on it there after that main event tonight.
Yeah, I got into a bit of contact there. I'm not sure who it was, but we made a bit of contact coming out of 4. I was up against the wall, didn't have much else to go, but I threw a pretty awful slider before that.
Well, you did a great job there tonight, and getting third place. Now, is Lernerville a track you like, or is it one you? Because for some people, Lernerville has a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it's kind of that way with me. I'm starting to love it more, though. I've done a lot more practice lately on it, and I'm getting more comfortable at the track and running the high side. So tonight was a lot more fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, it looked like you guys always do, and great job pulling up third, getting around Molyneux tonight. He was our fastest driver in qualifying. So, but great job getting that third place. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Lens Cove Marina is one of my main sponsors, Gator Tough. I want to thank everybody watching. Thank you for putting the stream on. Thank the guys that helped me, C2C, and anybody involved.
Well, great job there tonight. And are you racing any others tonight, or are you late models and done?
I don't know. I might be late models and done, but we'll see.
All right.
Might end on a high note.
All righty. Well, good luck if you do come out. If not, have yourself a great night there, Ryland.
Thank you. You too.
All right, out at Ryland Bank, now we'll get with Dean Reynolds. Good evening, Dean. Man, oh man, what a night of racing it's been for you so far.
Yeah, so that was a good start. We'll take anytime we'll take a podium by Anthony. That's a good night.
Well, you held him off by .005 in heat number 2 to start to the outside pole here in the main event. Just unfortunately could not quite hold him off enough here for the end.
No, he had a little bit more speed than I did, and then once he got in the lead, I got in the groove and kind of stayed with him, but I just did not have enough momentum to maybe pull a slider or anything like that, where, Anthony did at the start. I mean, we traded the lead there for a couple of laps, and then once he got in front, though, I settled in behind, and then really I just really kind of had to wait for him to make a mistake and go off the track, which came close a couple times, but he didn't, and, congrats to him, and Anthony ran a great race.
Well, I must say, you ran a great race, too. I know the two of you really made Heat 2 exciting coming down to the wire there.
It's always fun racing with Anthony. He's one of the cleanest guys out there and fast. And, all of us at FTM, we try to race as clean as we can and try to have some speed when we do it as well. And, these limited late models have really become a lot of fun to race with, and I really enjoy it. And, but gosh darn, it's the second in a row. I got beat by Blake there with 2 laps to go last week, and then finished second to Anthony this week. So, we just got to step up our game a little bit. And maybe one of these days we can maybe bring home a checker.
Well, like I said, you brought home the checker in Heat 2, .005 in front of Morano. Just unfortunately couldn't quite keep that same stamina here in the main event.
No, but that's okay. Like I said, anytime you get on the podium and talk to you, you had a good run.
Well, you did have a great run there, Dean, and can't wait to see what else you have in store here tonight.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to running the sprints. I like running sprints here at Lernerville, and we'll give that a shot, see what we can do, and I might even pop in and do a midget race. We'll take a look and see how we feel, and maybe we'll try the midgets tonight too.
All righty, well, good luck there, Dean, on your next races.
All right, man. No, we got to thank you for doing the broadcast. Thanks to Mission 22 for the sponsorship, Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race, and thank all the guys from FTM for trying to keep this old guy fast.
Yeah, they're trying to teach an old guy new tricks, huh?
You got it.
All righty, well, anybody else you need to thank for getting that second place podium tonight?
No, just congrats to Anthony and a great run by Ryland, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again here in a little bit.
All righty, good luck, Dean.
Take care, man. Thank you.
All right, with Dean Reynolds, our second place driver. Now we'll get with our winner, Anthony Morano. Anthony, how's it going?
Fleekster, how you been, buddy?
I've been good. Man, great run out there, taking home the win here at Lernerville tonight.
it was a lot of fun. Been a while since I did one of these Wednesday night deals. Been a longer time since I did a limited late model race, but it was pretty fun.
Well, kind of take us through. I know this one you had a little bit more gap over Dean Reynolds than you did in heat number 2, but kind of take us through. What was your thoughts on heat number 2's finish?
Yeah, heat 2 was actually fun. That's, we might be in the same Discord, we might be teammates racing together, but when we're on track, we don't actually really talk. So, it's kind of I was going with the element of surprise on that slider there, and then kind of thought, I just figured Dean would think I'd be going for another slider there in that last corner, and I was trying to stuff it up top and use the cushion, and we were trying to go for the same spot, and little door rubbings, so a lot of fun, racing, so he beat me there. I was actually probably the highlight of the night, just rubbing doors like that. Neither one of us went over, neither one of us wrecked. We're laughing in Discord the whole way to the line, beating and banging on each other. It was a good time.
Well, I know it was great to watch on stream, on the broadcast here, and man, anytime you can have that type of photo finisher in any race is always exciting.
Oh, absolutely, and it's always fun when you can actually go into a corner knowing it's going to be, you're going to have some metal bent up after the race, and the guy on the inside, he's got his foot to the floor just like you do, and you don't have to worry about him putting you into the fence or taking you out in any way. You're just going to do what he can do to win, and you're going to do what you can do to win, and see whose car can make it through the corner straighter, and that's the best kind of racing there is right there.
And it was definitely fun. And here in the main event, you come home with the victory here at Lernerville. That high side seems to always be the place to be here. And it's just such a fine line to get onto that cushion without hopping the cushion.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for it to grab me for sure, especially in 3 and 4 seems to be almost everyone's nightmare. So I had a few laps I was goofing around with the middle and the cut down and just different ways instead of entering high and riding all the way around, so I don't pop that right rear off and then go spinning around and my luck, I'd bounce off the wall coming off the floor and come out and wipe out the entire field. So just did it smart enough to be good and fast enough to win.
Yeah, my issue is turns 1 and 2 here. That's where where I jump the cushion most of the time at is rolling through there. I can hit.
How that works out here when we get to the sprint cars. It tends to be a little more interesting that way.
All right. Well, congrats again, Morano. Great job getting that win here in the limited lates, and good luck if you come out in later races tonight. We look forward to it. If not, have yourself a great night. I don't know which way it is, but you got any other sponsor shots? Anybody you need to thank for getting the victory?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife Sherry, the boys at FTM, Super Dark Car, Vertex Graphics, High Mom Lens. Let's see who else we got on this thing nowadays. Expert Insulation, Casper Flagstone, Swan Speed Shop, Shaggy TV. Adam, you've come out and doing the broadcast. I believe Mission 22 sponsors the limited late models. Dino for doing the admin here for the limited late models. Everyone at Coast to Coast, and Adam, again, you for doing the broadcast.
Yeah, always a pleasure here, and great job again there, Morano, getting the win here in the limited lates, and we'll see how you stack up. You coming out for more racing then?
Yep, I'm loading into the 360s now.
Alrighty, well, good luck there in the sprints, and we'll see you, and good luck there.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I was Anthony Morano, your winner here in the limited late models, brought to you by Mission 22. We will be back with your Mission 22 Hometown Heroes here in just a little bit. We got more racing coming up. Don't go anywhere.
1, 2, 3. Love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
C2C.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you, and I'm happy. Nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is, to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. The issue has been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
All right, here we are back at Lernerville, this time with the 360 wing sprints. Right there is Clemalic's Ted York out there. Pat Boyce are fastest right now with a 12.885 in that car number 41 up there on that high side. Anthony Morano in second fastest with a 12.955. Ted York now, he lays down your fastest time. Oh, man. 12.885 there for Ted York. Ted York now lays it out there now with a 12.692. He takes some more time off. There you see Anthony Morano trying to shave some time with a 12.818. Pat Boyce with a 12.885. You've got to hit that top line just perfect in order to go and get that line to work you through the corner. Now they come down there off of corner number 1 and 2. You see Pat Boyce there. Getting ready here for the qualifying here shortly. Hey, Boyce down there on the inside. There comes Morano back out Dean Reynolds lays down a heater of a lap with a 12.722 right now. Trying to close in on Ted York's time of a 12.692. And he's down there on the bottom side. Working there off corner number 4. Does not get any better time. 12.966 for Bud Molyneux. John Klamalik there with a 13.122 right now, trying to increase his time. And he got a great line going through 1 and 2. Got it down to a 13.063. Got to try it one more here time, coming through 3 and 4 up here on the top side. His time will get down to a 12.956 right now. Ted York still holds your fastest here in practice with a 12.692. And rolling on down there out of corner number 2 down through the backstretch. Dean Reynolds there. Second fastest with a 12.722. And Zeke Klamalik there with a 12.956 as his fastest right now. Last lap time with a 13.34. So he's got to try to pick up some time, someplace. Scott Thompson there in the 8th. Coming out on track right now. And they roll down through here off corner number 2. And through down here off of the corner. They go, working through the front stretch. In the corner number 1 and 2. Off and up there, off 2 down that back straightaway. Scott Thompson there in 8th, or in the 8th car, sitting 8th fastest with a 13.888. Current time now is a 13.176, trying to get a little bit more out of that machine. Jeff Barker in the 513 in the pits right now. And we see there, we'll see if he gets any better time. He does not there with a 13.30 for Scott Thompson. Yeah, he just tries to get a feel for him right now. It does not seem like he's got the grip he needs to try to get around there. And Jeff Barker, as he said, getting back here unloaded. There you see Ted York, Pat Boyce, Bud Molyneux, Scott Thompson. Somebody on his way out of the pits. Try to think who that might have been. And Morado coming here on track here. We're set to rock and roll here whenever the admins are ready to get the 360 wings underway. And then we got John Klamalik Jr. still on track in the 034, trying to work his way to a better lap time. He's right now at 12.956. Down there in the 3 and 4, Morado down there on the bottom with stop. And Klamalik there off of 4. Still can't seem to get anything better than as that one with a 12.96 as well, 956. And his current time. There the driver all lined up there in the pits. There you see Scott Thompson back out on track in the number 8, trying to better his time. A little bit of a skip there coming out of turn number 4. There you see Barker now coming on out in the 513 out of Brewerton, New York. There he heads on out here to try to get a few laps under his belt. Here through corner 1 and 2, they're working off. As they work off 2, up on the high side, down here in the 3 and 4. Barker there, heading off of 4 down through the front stretch here. As they work around here off of turn number 2, on through the backstretch. Barker still hangs on there to the top side, trying to find that momentum that he needs to set a decent time here off of 4. His current time, a 12.927. They work down through the backstretch here in the corner number 3 and 4. Gonna end up sliding it around too hard there, and that's not gonna increase his time there. And I worked back through 1 and 2. That last time there for Barker was a 13.16. And we're going down here out of corner number 4. And through 1 and 2. Not quite the car count we were really hoping for here for the 360s here for your hometown heroes. So if you're interested, there should be a link in the description here for you guys to join, whether you're watching it here at Coast to Coast Racing Network or, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if Coast to Coast Racing Network has the link down there in the description, but I do know if you go over to Finger Farm TV, go into their description over there, there is a link in the description of tonight's race for you to come join Coast to Coast Racing League and come race with these guys. And if there is no link or having trouble finding it, it's real simple. Just go to C2CRL.com. That again is C2CRL.com. Here we go for a heat race for your for your qualifying now underway. Yeah, get set here in the corner number 1. Oh, come on now, give me what I need. There's a Murano out there in the number 32. Down here through 3 and 4. I'm going to come out here and get the green flag to start. He's going to hang it on that top side. Coming there through 1 and 2. Going to make sure you don't dump it off that back. Coming down through the backstretch here in the 3 and 4. There you see Ted York. He's also right up there on that cushion coming through 1 and 2. That's Ted York's got a 12.733 rate now as they come there through turn 3 and 4. Way up there on that cushion, Ted York laying down a 12.23 as your quick time so far. Dean Reynolds with a 12.827. Not sure what happened to Murano as Murano's trying again up there on the high side. Up there off turn number 2. Down the back straightaway here through 3 and 4. Up there on that high side. As he works there off, time is going to be for Murano. Uh-oh, Murano might have a no time. Comalix Jr. with a 12.746. Scott Thompson there in the 8. Is there with a 13.093. So Murano with a no time. Michael Vecchio there out on track right now. Down here on the bottom side. Try to pick it up there and get up there on the top cushion if you want to try to get any speed out of Lernerville at all. Otherwise, you're going to be at the back of the pack, which is where Vecchio will be as qualifying ends. And we see race info here tonight, 67 degrees, 87% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 10-mile-per-hour winds. Hey, driver, get set to rock and roll here for heat number 1. We got 10 drivers here for heat number 1. Pat Boyce there in the first. Dean Reynolds second. When in row number 2 on the inside is going to be John Comalix Jr. in the 034. Starting there in third on his outside. In fourth is going to be Ted York in the 09. All right, starting here in fifth tonight. Inside, row number 3, Jeff Barger in the 513. And to his outside, Jeff Sharp in the 280. In row number 4, inside, in 7th position, is going to be Ben Molyneux driving the car number 883. To his outside in 8 is going to be the 8 of Scott Thompson. In row number 5, Anthony Murano in the 32. Down there on the inside, starting in 9th, Michael Vecchio. There in the 147, starts in 10th. All right, get ready here for the start of the race. Dean Reynolds up there on the top side. Pat Boyce down there on the inside. Get set to rock and roll. Here we go. 6 laps is the distance here in the heat. Now, that only being one heat race, this will set the grid for your feature event. So Ted York, your fastest qualifier, will start fourth, as with the 4th spot invert. So the top 4 of your heats are always inverted. And they come here out of turn number 3 and 4. Down through the front straightaway, up there on the high side. Dean Reynolds getting a great start there, along with Ted York up there on that high side. Pat Boyce, oh no, slides up in there. Dean had to check up. That forced Ted York up there to the high side. Ted York really winding it out now as he tries to get around all the chaos down there on the inside of the track. Now you see Reynolds there up off of 2. Alex Jr. now out there to the lead. Pat Boyce there in second. Oh no! Ted York out there into the outside wall. That's not going to start well for him. Jeff Barker around as well. Michael Machio out as well. Clem Alex there in front. Pat Boyce there in second. Dean Reynolds there in third. Scott Thompson back here in fourth. Anthony Morano worked his way on up there in the fifth. He had a blister there going for a time, I believe, but ended up catching that turn 4 wall is the only thing I can come up with. As you come out of turn 4, there on the front straightaway, just tapping that wall just a little bit. That or tapping it just before getting into turn 1 will give you a no time in qualifying. And oh no, we got another one going up and around. That's Pat Boyce. Up off the top of turn number 4. John Alex up there in the front with Dean Reynolds second. Scott Thompson there in third. Anthony Morado up there in the fourth. Slides it on up there in front of the 280. Jeff Sharp, Jeff Barker in the 513 way back there. As we come there off for John Alex Jr. getting the win here in the heat race with Dean Reynolds there in second. Scott Thompson in third. Man, oh man, a lot of carnage in the heat race. We get set here. Here is your Heat 1 results. John Alex Jr. getting the win in the 034. Dean Reynolds there in a second. Scott Thompson in third. Anthony Morano fourth. Jeff Sharp finishes fifth. Jeff Barker in sixth. Pat Boyce there in seventh. Bud Molyneux 8th. Ted York 9th. Michael Machio there in 10th. And we'll be back after a word from more sponsors. Don't go anywhere. More racing coming up after this.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
back here at the racetrack. Warm-up finishing up. Now it's Scott Thompson out there in the 8, Ted York. And you see Ted York there trying to get up there to the top side. Got to try to hang on to it better than he did last time. I don't know what happened to where he ended up off of the cushion. Anthony Morano not quite having the start tonight they wanted, but Anthony Morano out there setting quick time in warm-ups. Here is your starting grid for your 360 wing sprint cars. John Klimowicz Jr. rolls off on pole in the 034. Dean Reynolds there in second with car number 79. Row number 2, Scott Thompson in the 8. Starts third here tonight. The 32, Anthony Morano, starts his outside of row number 2. In fourth, Jeff Sharp inside row number 3. Driving the number 280. Jet Barker, the 513, starts 6th tonight. Back there in row number 4, Pat Boyce, driving car number 41, will start 7th into his outside there on row number 4. Bob Molyneux, driving the 883. Back there in the final row, row number 5 here tonight. On the inside, that's going to be Ted York, driving the 09 for Team SSR Elite. And you got Michael Achillo out there in the 147, rounding out the field there in 10th. That is your starting grid here as they get started. Dean Reynolds out there up on the high side. Klimowicz Jr. Great run here tonight. There in that number 34 machine. Eddie Morano up there in 4th right now. Second car back on that high side. As we get ready to rock and roll, 25 laps the distance here for your 360 wing sprints. Off the corner, number 4, here they go, green flags out, they're down and away. Dean Reynolds, great start on that high side, trying to stay in front of Morano. That Morano gets right up there to that outside cushion, here in the corner, number 3 and 4, right there along it with Dean up there on the high side. Ted York back there at the back, we know he's fast, if he can just find that cushion himself, just slide it on up there. He's got to be careful as they come there off of turn number 4. Dean Reynolds, your leader. Morano there in second. Klimowicz there in 3rd with Thompson in 4th. Caution is out. Pat Boyce, Jeff Barker having issues back here at the back. As Pat Boyce ends up there, or I'm sorry, Jeff Barker ends up into the outside fence. You see up there on the high side, that is the 513. Got Pat Boyce there on his inside, and they make a little bit of contact there, getting into 3 and 4. And Pat Boyce ends up there off track on the high side. Car broke, unfortunately. Jeff Barker also with car broke. A little frustrating there for Jeff Barker. Ted York down there on the inside, unsure what happened to him. We see he's collided there with somebody else. We'll see if we can get a picture of what happened here with Ted York and Bob Molyneux. Looks like Ted York got a piece of Pat Boyce, ends up getting there collected. Oh man, tough night there for Ted York in the 360 wings. We're getting ready for green flag here as they come here out of 4. Dean Reynolds and Anthony Morano up there on your front row. Dean's going to try to get started early to get that thing shot up here to the high side. And Morano's hanging back a little bit. One more time around here as they come there through turn 1 and 2. Everybody getting lined back up. Looks like we got 7 drivers on track. Bob Molyneux there in the 883, unfortunately tangled with the 09 of Ted York, as Ted York ended up getting caught up with Pat Boyce there through corner number 3 and 4 in that incident there with Jeff Barker. here off a turn of 4. Down through the front straightaway. Great start there by Dean Reynolds. Morano falls back in line there behind him. Alex there in 3rd. Ends up falling back to 4th. As Scott Thompson gets there up into 3rd. And oh no, Alex Jr. up off a turn 4. He now ends up against the outside wall. As they scroll down here through turn 1 and 2. Scott Thompson up into 3rd, but Molyneux there in 5th. Jeb Sharp there in 4th. Scott Thompson 3rd. Anthony Morano in 2nd. Morano trying to run that top side. Dean Reynolds just trying to stay out front there. He rolls it through the middle of 3 and 4. Now here on to the front stretch. Morano back here a little bit. There you see Scott Thompson rolling through. Jeb Sharp and Bob Molyneux back there. There's Michael Vecchio here in 6th. As John Alex is out of this one. Morano up there on the high side here in the corner number 1 and 2. Dean Reynolds there, hang on to it. Didn't want to see Morano go up and over as he's running a tight line up there on the top side. Dean Reynolds now picks it back up there to the high side, trying to keep ahead of Morano. They're off a turn 2. That Morano now has to make a decision, a slider or not. No! Morano up and over off a turn 4. Dean Reynolds now out there in front. Scott Thompson in 2nd. Jeff Sharp out there in 3rd with Bud Molyneux. They're in 4th now. Now, as we said, in 4th. Jeff Sharp in the number 280 trying to hang on to it. Who's it going to be? Who's going to finish here tonight? Dean Reynolds out there in front. Almost Anthony Morano a lap down here. As we see, oh no! Dean ends up coming over top of the corner of Anthony Morano. Dean Reynolds out front. Man, oh man, that was kind of scary. There, Morano's now on the inside, a lap down. Michael Vecchio now a lap down. We've got 4 drivers on the lead lap. Dean Reynolds way up front now. Scott Thompson 2nd, but Molyneux there in 3rd. This turned into a race of survival here tonight. That I was in the 883 there. Molyneux trying to get under Thompson here for 2nd place. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. As you see that 883 down there. Don't want to get into Scott Thompson in the 8. If I was Dean, I'd just kind of hang around the bottom right now. Middle to bottom anyway, to stay away from that outside cushion. You don't want to go off the racetrack. You don't really have much to worry about right at this moment. So I wouldn't really worry about trying to push too hard. I would see Molyneux and Thompson trying to battle it out. And Molyneux now back up there on the cushion. Coming there in the corner number 3 and 4. Slides it on down there. Whoa! Hang on to it. Down there all before. Jeff Sharp back here in 4th in the number 280. Anthony Morano up there along the outside. Trying to hang on to that cushion once again. Trying to pick up something. Michael Vecchio ends up sliding it around almost all the way. Caution comes out for Michael Vecchio. He went almost spinning around. He's going to bring it to a stop down there on the inside. And that will probably be all it wrote there for Michael Vecchio. 5 cars left on track. Anthony Morano a lap down. Scott Thompson in 2nd. Bob Molyneux there in 3rd. Jeff Sharp in 4th. Over half the field in pit lane or out right now. Ted York looks to be possibly back out on track. And he is. Here's 17 laps down. Out of the 25 laps here to run tonight. So we'll have just a few laps to run here when they come back to the green. Jeff Barger, 19 laps down and out. Pat Boy, 16 laps down and out. Alex Jr. is out there in 7th. So if Ted York can go and stay on track here for these next 3 laps, there should be enough of a chance for York to get up there and battle Alex for that next spot, because Alex isn't here. As Morano is a lap down, as we said. Vecchio 4 laps down and in the pits. Alex Jr. out. Ted York back here in 8th. And green flag back in the air as they head down here in the corner number 1. Ted York now here, 8 laps to go, so as long as Ted York can keep it clean, he will gain another position. He comes down here in the corner number 3 and 4 down there on the bottom side. And Dean Reynolds out front, Scott Thompson there in second. Bud Molyneux there in third, Jeff Sharp in fourth. Those are the 4 guys battling out here. Everybody else is a lap down or more. Caution is out once again. And I think this will probably be on Michael Vecchio. We're coming out of the pit lane. So here we go, coming here out of turn 4. You see, here comes Vecchio out of the pits. And he's going to end up bringing it to a stop out here close enough to the racing surface that it throws the caution, because I don't see anything else. So that one is on Michael Vecchio coming out of the pits. Yeah, you get rolling. Trying to get this thing finished out here for your 360 wing sprints. Brought to you by Mission 22. Here of a turn number 3. As you head on out here down the backstretch. You see Reynolds out there in front, Thompson there second, Bud Molyneux there third. Unfortunate night there for Morano, chasing Reynolds down and just ended up stepping off that turn 4 cushion down there all before they go. 6 laps to go. Here they head into corner number 1. Scott Thompson second, Bud Molyneux there third, Jeff Sharp there in fourth. And down here off of the corner with Reynolds out there in the lead. Molyneux there in third. Morano just trying to gain something there, showing that he can run these cars, trying to get a little bit of practice in, I would take it. He's back up there along that outside lane once again. Here with 4 laps to go, just not enough to try to do anything about it. Maybe to get back on the lead lap will be about the best he can do. With Dean Reynolds out there in front, Vecchio back here in 6th and is on track. Ted York also on track, got himself up there into 7th. And we got 3 drivers out, 3 drivers laps down. And see Reynolds coming around there, 2 laps to go. Here for Reynolds, there's Scott Thompson. Morano up there on that high side. Reynolds don't really need to race him here coming off of turn number 4. And down that front straightaway, final lap for Dean Reynolds here in the number 79. Morano up there on the outside lane as they come around here for the final time. Dean Reynolds down here through 3 and 4, coming up off, looking good and clean. He will get the win here at Lernerville. Dean Reynolds in the number 79 in the 360 wing sprints. Dean Reynolds, your winner in the 360 wing sprint. Morano, unfortunately, finishing a lap down after taking a jump off of turn 3 and 4. Bud Molyneux there third. Scott Thompson there in a second. Hey, watch him here. Get lined up here for your victory formation. Dean Reynolds gets the win, as we said. Scott Thompson there second. Bud Molyneux in third. Jeff Sharp in fourth. Anthony Morano fifth. Michael Vecchio there in sixth. Ted York there in seventh. John Clemaux Jr. there in eighth, with Jeff Barker in ninth. Pat Boyce finishing out, rounding out in 10th. Oh, Bob Molyneux, your third place finisher here tonight. I don't see Bob Molyneux, so we'll go with Scott Thompson, second place. Good evening there, Scott. How's it going?
Good. How you, bud?
I'm doing well. Man, what a race there tonight here at Lernerville. Kind of take us through your thoughts on this track with no walls except for that front stretch.
Oh, man, I'm not really good here. That's because of if I try to go up top, I usually fly off the racetrack. So I just played it cool and played the middle to the bottom, and it worked out for me. I got second. I had nothing for Dean.
Well, I know there was a couple of drivers out there that had pretty good cars here tonight, and unfortunately they ended up the way of the over the cushion tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's why I played it safe on the middle to the bottom, because I would have probably done the same.
I mean, that Anthony Morano, I know he got around you there at the end, but being a lap down, he had a car. It's just unfortunately he ended up off the top.
Yeah, him and Dean were pretty much the class of the field. Like I said, I was just playing it safe and running the middle to the bottom. I still had a decent car. It just wasn't as good as they were. They were a little bit better running up top.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have to go and change no parts or, do anything. You kept your car in one piece compared to them.
Yeah.
So there is that. You have any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting second place here in the 360 Wing Sprints?
I'll just thank my team, Rolling Thunder Sim Racing, and Josh Whiteman owns the team. Thank Fitz Automotive Specialists. They're a sponsor that came on this season, and to give them a shout out. Want to thank you guys for all the broadcasts and just having a good time doing this.
All right, well, congrats on getting second place here in the 360 Wing Sprints. Are you coming out for midgets at all, or are you done for the night?
I think I'm done for the night.
Alrighty, well, have yourself a great night there, Scott, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, out was Scott Thompson. Now we'll get with Dean Reynolds. Good evening, Dean. How's it going again?
What's going on, sir?
Man, oh, man, what a race there between you and Morano once again until Morano had just a slight hiccup coming through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I got a feeling it was going to be between me and him, and I kind of want to see how it would have turned out because you always like to race with Anthony and have some fun. But then, when Anthony went off the track, and he was in my Discord, and he told me he went off, and then I looked down and I saw I had over a 3-second lead, so I said, you know what, I'm going to stay off this top before I go over it. So I went to the middle, and then I stayed there, and I saw Teddy York had some problems, Jeff Barker had some problems, and I'm like, well, I got a 3.5 second lead over Scott, and I said, let me just stay here in the middle. If it goes nonstop, we know we can bring her home. And then, we had those yellows, and I wasn't quite sure if I had to go back up to the top. And I said, you know what, I'm going to try to stay in the bottom. And noticed I actually looked in my mirror and saw Scott was doing the same thing, and I was able to keep pace and keep a little lead on him. So I said, I'll just stay here in the bottom until I have to go to the top if I have to, and then hopefully just bring her home.
Well, you did a good job, and it is unfortunate. A lot of great running cars here tonight. Lernerville claimed them once again.
Oh, I'm good for going off usually once a race as well. No doubt. And who knows if me and Anthony were racing hard with each other, if I would have done it, a lap before or a lap after or whatever, you just, it's tough to stay. It's tough. That fluff was getting a little thin, and you got to keep your right rear in it so it grips. And sometimes, if you push it a little too hard or your car pushes a little bit, you're going to go off. And but that's the beauty of Lernerville. I wish there was a couple more tracks actually on the sim that didn't have outside walls, so you can get a little more variety of that because it adds a new dynamic to the way you race.
It most certainly does, and I thought there was at least one other. I can't remember which one, but I thought there was another one that didn't have the outside wires or the walls were pushed back off of the racing surface more.
Well, Lucas Oil, the walls are pushed back a little bit, so you go off the top and then get on that reverse bank before you get into the wall, but it's not really that wide.
No.
But yeah, you got that at Lucas Oil.
Yeah, but I thought there was another one too, and I can't remember which one it was. I thought there was another, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night.
Well, you did a great job bringing home the victory there, Dino, in first place, and You got any sponsor shots? Anybody you need to thank for the 360s?
Well, I got to thank the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports, and I really enjoyed running sprint cars now, whether they're open setup or the fixed. Gavin Chatham has really helped me out quite a bit. He's our sprint car guru in FTN, and Patrick Spangler took me under his wing a little bit when I first started with the sprint car. So I just got to thank those two guys because I wouldn't have half the speed if it wasn't for them. And then, thank all the other guys at FTN. Anthony Milano, he's real fast in sprint cars too, and always good to race with him. So I got to thank those guys. Got to thank Mission 22 for the sponsorship. If it wasn't for them, Adam, you wouldn't be here doing the broadcast. And then want to thank your business, Regal Wraps and Designs, for doing the midgets. I'm going to hop in a midget here and have some fun. And want to thank your business for sponsoring so you can actually bring the midgets to everyone's home. And want to thank Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race. And congrats on Scott Thomason on a second, and congrats on his win Monday night with the Rebels. I don't know if you realize, Adam, but that was his first ever win with Coast to Coast.
Who was that?
As well. Scott Thomason. That was his first ever win with Coast to Coast
on okay.
The Rebels. And, yep, so that was good. And great run by Bud Mountain to get third in the sprints. Bud doesn't run the sprints that much, and good to see him bring home a podium.
Yeah, he got third here tonight, and I think part of that is because so many drivers did have so much issues here at Lernerville tonight.
Well, but that's part of it. You got to finish first to finish first. And, Bud doesn't run a lot of sprint cars, so you go out there and learn and be conservative and, try some different things. And then as others have mistakes, take full advantage.
For sure. And congrats again there, Dean. And are you coming out in the midgets here, like as you said?
I'm loading right in right now. I don't usually run them, but...
they're a blast, Dean. You'll enjoy yourself.
I think I like midgets on a bigger track, and then Kern's a bigger type track, so we'll see what happens.
Well, good luck. We'll catch you over there.
If I talk to you again, that's going to be sheer luck.
Well, we'll see, Dean. We'll see how your luck holds out here tonight.
All right, Adam. Thanks again.
That's Dean Reynolds, your winner here in the 360 Sprint. We will be back here with the Regal Wraps and Designs Midget Series here at Coast to Coast Racing Network and Blinker Rum TV. We're on the pole bringing you those broadcasts here tonight. We'll see how it goes here for Dean as we head off ourselves to get to Kern for the midgets. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here with more on the pole racing action.
1, 2, 3. Love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. Happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home. I'm making my way.
biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. The issue has been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. That just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, here we are back at the racetrack here at Kern now. As they Ted York down there on the inside, Jet Burger coming around there out of turn 4. Fourth fastest here. Give it a few more moments here and see if we get anybody else to come in and join us. We only got a field of 5 drivers right now, maybe 6. There you see Bud Molyneux coming out there in the midget in the 883. So they are switching it over. This is going to be your field, 6 drivers for your field of midgets here tonight. So good luck to these drivers as they headed on out here. Getting ready for qualifying for your midgets, for the Regal midgets, that is. As is your Mission 22 Hometown Heroes Wednesday night. Here with the Regal Wraps and Designs Midget Series. There you see Jack Hitt out there in the 217. Working down there off turn number 2, down through the back straightaway. Here in the 3 and 4 he goes. As they work there off the corner, in the corner number 1 and 2. 14-2-10 for Jack Hitt. Morano with a 14-2-3-7. Then you got out there Ted York in the 09. And you see Morano there in that 32 machine. Hey, head on out there on the bottom. There you see Jeff Parker, Dean Reynolds out there in the number 79 Toyota. Bud Molyneux there in the 883. All of them put down an okay time. Jeff Parker, 14-2-5-1. Anthony Morano with a 2-3-7. Ted York with a 14.211. Jack Hitt with a 14.210. Getting ready for your heat race. Yeah, get ready here. You got a couple of them still messing around on track. Jeff Barker just kind of messing around there. Qualifying comes to an end finally. And here we go. Heat number one, or your heat race, not heat number one, but your heat race. Gonna look like this. We got Jeff Barker starting there on pole to his outside. Anthony Morano in that number 32. Second row. Inside, Ted York in the 09, starting third to his outside in fourth. It's going to be the 217 of Jack Hitt. Dean Reynolds in the 79 starts inside, row number 3 in that 5th position with Bud Molyneux in 6th here tonight. Hey, Dwyer, get set to rock and roll here off in the corner number 1. And bring it on out there. Great job so far here as they roll in the corner number 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway. Six laps the distance here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Speedway. Down here in the corner number 1, they'll go. They rock off down here into the corner. Down there, off they go into the backstretch. Pace cars off. Down there in the corner 3 and 4, they are handed off to Jeff Barker. Green flag is out. Down and away they go as they head here in the corner number 1 and 2. Oh no, they're already around, and that is Ted York going around there. Got to try to get back. The correct direction is Anthony Morano. Great jump out there, gets out to a great lead. Jack Hitt there in 2nd, Bud Molyneux there in 3rd. Dean Reynolds back here in 4th, and they slide it on there through 1 and 2. Jeff Barker trying to get back, caught back up there along with Ted York as they come storming there through turn 3 and 4. With Anthony Morano up there on the high side, now down there on the end as they work there off turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Jack Hitt in 2nd, Bud Molyneux there in 3rd. Dean Reynolds in 4th, now 5th as Jeff Barker gets around him. Ted York there on the outside as well, trying to get there through turn 3 and 4, trying to chase down the leaders. And Morano comes there in the 3 and 4 himself. 3 laps to go here in the Regal Wraps Midgets. As they come down there past the start-finish line here at Kern. Here comes Jack Hitt down there to the inside, possibly trying to get there as they head in the corner number 3 and 4. Up there on that high side. Down there off the start-finish line in the corner 3 and 4. And down there now off turn number 2. Down there in the 3 and 4 as up there on the top side. That is going to be the 217 Jack Hitt trying to get around. Anthony Morano not quite going to get there. As Morano hangs on for the win. Bud Molyneux in 3rd for that 519 Motorsports, it looks like, if I'm reading that correctly. Could be wrong on that. Jeff Barker 4th, Dean Reynolds 5th, Ted York back there in 6th. Official results coming in here. As you see it, Anthony Morano getting the win. Jack Hitt in 2nd, Bud Molyneux there 3rd, Jeff Barker there 4th, Dean Reynolds 5th, and Ted York there in 6th. We'll be back once again after this short message from our sponsors.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
Good evening here, Southern Broadcasting Gaming. right, back here from the start as they get ready for the restart here, or rather the start of your main event. These drivers getting lined up here, ready to rock and roll. All right, here's your starting grid. Out there in front, Anthony Morano rolls off there in first, Jack Hitt in second. Bud Molyneux will roll off there in third with Jeff Barker there in fourth. Dean Reynolds in fifth, Ted York in sixth here tonight. All right, getting here ready for your 25 laps around Kern here tonight. All right, getting ready for the start. Things getting handed off where they need to be. Green flag in the air. They're down and away. Here in the corner number one they go. As they work out of the corner, down there off the start-finish line. In the corner number one, once again, Jack Hitt, your leader. Anthony Morano there in second. Jeff Barker there in a third. As Morano and Jack Hitt battle it out there for the lead. Off of the corner they go. And here in a 3 and 4. Now you watch Morano there in second, trying to get back up there to Jack Hitt. Dean Reynolds back here in third, chasing down Jeff Barker. Ted York trying to find his groove after having an issue there in the heat. Now sliding down through 3 and 4, back around here onto the front stretch. Dean Reynolds there in the fourth, Jeff Barker there third. Anthony Morano, as we said, there in second. Jack Hitt leading the way out there in the number 217 Hooters machine as he works out there down through the front stretch. Anthony Morano, Jeff Barker, there you see Dean Reynolds now trying to battle it out with Jeff Barker. Ted York getting into the mix again down there on the inside as he works there in the 3 and 4. Shoots up there to the high side, going to cut it down there. Had to get out of it there. A little bit of a throttle issue there on the 09. As he ended up burping the throttle there, trying to keep the car under control. Down there through, off the backstretch, into the corner, 3 and 4. 19 laps to go for Anthony Morano. Out there you got the 217 Jack Hitt, Dean Reynolds there third. Jeff Barker fourth, Ted York fifth. Bud Molyneux there in sixth as they bring it on out there down the backstretch. Sideways he goes through 3 and 4. Dean Reynolds back there in third. With Jeff Barker fourth, Ted York there in fifth. Luck seems to be on Dean Reynolds' side at the moment. 16 laps to go. As he works down there off of turn 4. Up there on the front stretch, down there across the back. Anthony Morano in second, Jack Hitt out there in front. Ted York there in a fourth with Jeff Barker in fifth. Bud Molyneux back here in sixth as they headed on out here. Down through the back straightaway. 15 laps to go. Here they head through 3 and 4. Morano in second, Dean Reynolds there third, Ted York out there in fourth. They try to bring it on out. Ted York trying to gain something here They bring it on out there off turn number 4. Jack Hit, your leader, down through turn 1 and 2. Anthony Morano there in second. Reynolds there at third. Ted York for it. Jeff Barker back here in fifth. Bud Molyneux in sixth. We only have 6 drivers here tonight in the midgets. And again, if you're interested in coming out to run here at Coast to Coast, look them up at Coast to Coast, or I'm sorry, C2CRL.com. That is C2CRL.com. There's a link over at Flicker Farm TV as well in their description. And there might be one at Coast to Coast, but I'm not positive of that. The Coast to Coast Racing Network. Not sure if there is one there as well or not. We got 10 laps to go for Jack Hit. Down there, Attitude, down that back straightaway. Anthony Morano there second. Dean Reynolds there third. Ted York in fourth. They bring it on out there once again. You got Jack Hit up there on the top side with Morano in second. Dean Reynolds there in third. Down there off the corner. Then the 3 and 4 once again. 9 laps to go. Definitely appreciate Southern Broadcast Gaming Network joining us there at Flicker Farm TV, along with everybody over at Coast to Coast Racing Network joining us there to watch your favorite drivers go around the racetrack. Now you got Dean Reynolds there in third place. Ted York there in fourth, driving for Team Elite from SSR, School of Sim Racing. Yeah, you got Jack Hit out there still driving that Hooters machine to victory, most likely as Anthony Morano. There in second, trying to get that number 32 up there towards the front for Full Throttle Motorsports. Down there through 1 and 2 he goes. It's Dean Reynolds now possibly getting up there in the third. Well, no, sorry about that. Ted York's battling for third place with Dean Reynolds. Ted York now gets around him down there on the inside. Going to slide it up. Not quite enough. Dean Reynolds does a great job missing the rear tire of Ted York. They're sliding around there. Battle for third right now coming down there in the corner number 3 and 4. Ted York on the inside. Dean Reynolds on the outside. Morano up there in second. Jack Hit out there in the lead as these two, Dean Reynolds and Ted York, battle it out there for third place. Jeff Barker sitting there on the bottom side of the racetrack, just getting around here, same with Bud Molyneux, getting comfortable running the midgets. As you see, Ted York falls back a little bit there behind Dean Reynolds for the time being. 3 laps to go here at Kevin Harvick's Kern Speedway. And now Ted York takes another stab at him, coming there off turn number 4. Gonna see, does he get there? And looks like Ted York has third place. They're coming off the corner. Slides up there a little too far. Had to back out of it. That's going to enable Dean to put some distance between him and Ted York. As Ted York now has to try to gain it back. Here, final lap. Down here in the corner number 1. These two go. Jack Hit works through turn 3 and 4. Up there on the high side. Jack Hit! Get your win here at Kern Speedway. As we go back here to watch Dean Reynolds and Ted York battle it out. Coming out of turn 4, Dean Reynolds gets third spot there over top of Ted York. All right, here you go. Your feature winner, Jack Hit, getting the win. Anthony Morano getting second. Dean Reynolds there third. Ted York there in fourth. Jeff Barker fifth. And Bud Molyneux there in sixth. All right, here we go. Getting ready there. And Southern Broadcasting Gaming Network, if you want to reach out to me on Discord, that'd be great. I have a couple questions regarding broadcasts that maybe you could help out with that. I don't know if you can or not. I know you helped me out in the past before. So, great race here tonight from Coast to Coast Racing League. All right, there you see down there on the bottom, Dean Reynolds in third place. Let's see, can we get with Dean? All right, Dean Reynolds, how's it going? You said if we were going to talk to you again, it'd be a lot of luck.
It was a lot of luck.
You're sticking with that story, huh?
It was fun. It was a bigger track, and, got some laps. I got a little more comfortable there, took advantage of a couple of mistakes and stuff, and then, oh my God, me and Teddy York, what a race. We were side by side. I think the last 15 laps we were side by side. Eventually, I think he would have got me. He's a little bit better than I am, but I just had a couple good laps there, and just edged him out and got on the podium. And no, that was a lot of fun. Congrats to Jack and Anthony, and I was hoping maybe I could have something for them, but they doing something I don't know how to do yet in these things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can get it around the racetrack. I'm not fast, but I can at least get it around without hitting nothing.
Well, it took me 4 tries to actually do a warm-up lap without hitting anything. Oh my God, I'd just like to complete a lap to see what time I would get. And, it just took me a while. So, and then, but it's all about the finesse, even with these cars, even though they're midgets and stuff like that. It's about the finesse and everything else, and they're fun to drive, and I like doing them on a big track. I'm not a big fan of running these things in Chili Bowl and stuff like that. Guys that run them all the time are really good on these things, and but I ran.
I don't care. I don't care for Chili Bowl myself with any car.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Actually, when I ran with the Chili Bowl and I ran with the Wing Micros there when Jeff Barker had a fun run, I actually really enjoyed it. I think those are the perfect cars for that track. But
okay, the micros would probably be okay.
I'm a Williams Grove USA guy, so me to get on the Chili Bowl, that's like 1/5 the size. That's not for me.
Yeah, now I will say I love taking these midgets over to Kokomo. That is like my favorite car track combo for these midgets.
That's what I heard, and I almost ran that night, and I thought Kokomo would be fun because that track I think is a track where you could sail it as well, and I was thinking about that, but probably the smarts got the better of me.
Well, you did a great job tonight holding off Ted York, getting third here in the midgets, and can't wait to see what you have tomorrow night. I know I'll be on track for the first few races and then up in the booth for the Pro Late Model, so should be a fun night. I know I get discouraged because I'm nowhere competitive to be on Thursday nights.
We talked before. It's all about doing laps. You know that, Adam.
I just don't know what more I can do. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, it's just it takes a while. It takes a long time to get used to anything. I mean, it took me 1.5 years to get my first coast-to-coast win. So I mean, it's just it's not the easiest thing to do. Yeah, so it's all about getting laps, and then once you feel comfortable and stumble onto something, then it gets a little easier after that.
I keep hearing throttle control, and I don't know what more that I can do with the throttle.
Well, that's why I like the big tracks, because I don't know how to do throttle control.
And see, here's my problem. These tracks aren't slick enough for me is what I'm discovering.
That's good. I'd rather have a cushion and run hard, and
because
this race here, if you notice, I never left the top during the whole midget race. So
I can compete if the track's worn off. If the track's not worn off, I can't compete.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. So, but everyone has their own style. Yeah.
But great job there tonight, Dean. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting third place in the midgets tonight?
Thank the guys from FTM. Thank you to Regal Wraps and Designs for sponsoring, for you doing the broadcast, and Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race. And congrats to Jack and Anthony on their win in second place.
Alrighty, well, congrats again there, Dean, and we'll see you tomorrow night on track.
All right, you take care.
All right, that's Dean Reynolds there getting third place here. Anthony Morano getting second. Good evening there, Anthony. How's it going?
Oh, that was tough.
Seemed like you struggled a mite tad here and there through them midgets.
Yeah, I don't run these things very much. It's like maybe my third or fourth race with them, so not a whole lot of seat time in them. It's a lot of work behind the wheel, believe it or not. It's kind of threw me off a bit. Didn't think I'd have to. Man, you work more on these things than you do in a sprint car, for damn sure.
Oh yeah, you're on the wheel, on the throttle. I mean, it's definitely a lot of finessing with these cars to get them around the track fast.
Yeah, I don't quite have that figured out yet. got a little work to do, I guess.
They're a lot of fun, though. I mean, I will say that much. They are a lot of fun.
It's definitely a blast there.
So, great job there getting second, bringing that FTM machine in for another podium here tonight. I knew you had a great job there. I believe it was the limited late models And I can't remember what happened in the 360s, but great job.
I went over in turn 3.
Oh, that's right. Unfortunately, battling Deed and there for the lead, you ended up catching a little bit of air with the right tire.
Yeah, and that was the end of that.
There was quite a few of you that had trouble with Lernerville in the 360s tonight, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah, you go from the boxy, slower limited late model to those things. It's a pretty big gap there for power and weight ratios.
Well, they can handle completely different. I mean, they're completely different body styles.
Completely everything style there.
Pretty much. I mean, they're completely different. They're two completely different cars. You're not just changing power. You're changing the weight, the way the thing sets up in the corners, everything.
You're dropping about 2,000, 2,500 pounds off that bad boy.
At least. Oh, great job there in the midgets. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting second place tonight?
I got to thank my wife Sherry, the boys over there at FTM, Vertex Graphics, Super Dirt Car, Swan Speed Shop, Extra Installation, Casper Flagstone. I have no idea who sponsors the late models. You? Regal Wraps? Is that you?
The late models? You mean the midgets?
Or, the midgets. The midgets, yeah.
That's Regal Wraps. Regal Wraps and Design sponsors the midgets. They sponsor the late models on Thursdays.
No. I'm always at work on Thursdays, so. But yeah, shout out to you for sponsoring the division and for you doing a broadcast. Jack for doing the admin work here in the midget and everyone at Coast to Coast.
All right, great job, Anthony, and hopefully we'll see you in more coast-to-coast races coming up.
Probably just be Mondays. That's about all I'm good for.
Well, it was good to see you here on a Wednesday night trying to get some seat time.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.
All right, you have yourself a great night there, Anthony.
You too, buddy.
All right, that was Anthony Murado, your second place finisher. Now we'll get with Jack here. Good evening there, Jack. How's it going?
Doing good, Adam. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. What a run there in that Hooters machine tonight. You really had that thing hooked up there.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like it. This track's a little different, but yeah, got her going.
Well, I think this track, isn't this also one of the newer ones here on the sim? So it depends on how much seat time you really have at this track.
Right, yeah, I wouldn't really call it new anymore. It's been around for a while, but it's one of the newer ones. And
that's what I said, one of the newer ones.
I'm probably still in the single digits on trips here to it too, so that's probably one thing. But I don't know, like going into 1 and 2 kind of feels like weed sport to me. It's like you just gotta send it in there and see what happens. But yeah, it's always a fun race though in the midgets.
It was a blast to watch, too, and you, like I said, you had a great job out there getting the victory here in that Hooters machine, driving at number 217 the victory tonight. You got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting the victory?
Yeah, got to thank Regal Wrap and Designs allowing us to have this broadcast, you for doing the broadcast, all the other sponsors throughout the league as well, of course, and of course everybody. Dean's really stepped up the past few seasons. Jeff's always been doing a ton of work. There's the whole exec crew, Bob, Steve, Colin, everybody behind the scenes making things go around, the whole review committee, everybody. I think some guys maybe take for granted what it takes to really have as many races as we do every single week of the year. So just a big shout out to those guys. And got to thank my wife for giving me time to do this.
No, great job there again, Jack, for getting that victory, and hopefully we'll see you in more races here at Coast to Coast coming forward.
Yeah, I was telling the guys earlier, I've been telling myself I'm going to race some other divisions, but it's like the opposite of when you interview all these other guys and they're like, I'm trying to get a feel for the midget, it's hard to figure them out. And I'm the opposite. It's like I know how to drive the midget, but I have no idea what I'm doing in any of the other cars. So we'll see. We'll try to figure something out.
Well, good luck to you as the season progresses, and you have yourself a great night there, Jack. Congrats on your win.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
All right, that was... Oh, come on now. That was Jack Hitt there, our winner. Congrats to everybody here that had got a victory. And we want to thank everybody here for tuning in on either Coast to Coast Racing Network or Fleeger Farm TV to watch this episode of On the Pole here tonight, bringing you the Coast to Coast Racing League's Mission 22 Hometown Heroes. Thanks again for watching. Everybody have a great night. We'll catch you in the next one. FFTV will be live once again here at 9:45 to bring you the FMA Cup Series. So don't be sure, if you're ready for that, be sure to check us out. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a great, great night.